Hi everyone, hope everyone's well. Welcome back. And today I'm going to talk to you about how ridiculous some of the things that EV owners have to go through in terms of charging their car in public. Today I'm going to talk about the ridiculous amount of cards that we have to use, as well as apps, and just the various things that we have to do. So let's go through those one at a time. So let's start with apps. So various apps that I have on my phone, and I'm not talking about apps for navigation around finding chargers. So generally for that I use Chargemap or PlugShare. They're pretty much my two main go-to apps for that, and they're pretty good, pretty comprehensive, reasonably up to date, and they're updated by people like us that go to charge points and update them, and if there are any changes. What I'm talking about is things like this. So I have about 3 or 4 cards, or also known as RFID cards, but they look like credit card things, or they can have little key fobs. And usually accompanying these are their various setup registration things that you have to do to get these up and running. My two that I mainly use are my Polar card and my new Motion card. So my new Motion card is used for work charging, so I don't get that for free. I have to tap the charger for it to charge, and tap to end, and I get charged at the end of the month. Same with my Polar card. My Polar card is used for public charging, so the majority of my longer journeys are done via Polar, and even my home amount of charging is generally Polar because it's cheaper. Works out about 9p a kilowatt, and again you get charged at the end of the month, so it's nice and convenient and easy. What gripes me is that not only have I got that, I've also got a Genie Point card, because there's obviously another supplier out there, and we've got some of those local to us, as well as some of the Rapids. But this is getting ridiculous. We're getting more and more charging companies entering the market. IONITY have just come in, and they are using an app, and I think you can use an RFID card. Weirdly, no contactless payment, which is a bit strange, but we'll cover that off in a different episode. But it's getting out of hand. Like I said, I carry, let's see, 1, 2, 3 main cards. I've also got 2 for abroad. Now I'll come back to that in a minute, because that's really important. The main cards that I use for this are generally okay, but if you go further afield, or you find different charging companies, they all use different RFID cards. They use contactless payment, which is preferred nowadays, a wireless contact one. Things like InstaVolt, they use contactless payment. You go up, you swipe your card, you charge, away you go. That is exactly how it should be. I don't mind cards and apps, but my biggest problem is the amount of them. Coming back to the European travel, when I've been abroad, you carry 2 cards. A Kiwi card, or Kiwi Pass card, and a kind of a Le Pass card. One basically does supermarket type charging locations, generally the lower ones and some of the Rapids, and the other one does the Rapids along the main motorways. So basically what has happened in the likes of France and Germany and places like that, they've gotten together and said, whilst we can all use different cards and all different charging mechanisms, things like that, why don't we make it easy and give at least just a minimum of 2 cards that all feed into those networks in some way, shape or form, and you don't have to do that. So in the background, unfortunately, you still have to do all the setups and stuff like that, but you're only carrying 2 cards, and you can swipe with these, and it's very simple. In the UK, we just have not got a grip on this whatsoever. Now, I don't want this to sound like it will put anyone off using public charging, because it's not difficult. My complaint really is just the sheer amount of cards and apps and everything that we're getting. It should be 1 card that everyone then can register the other cards to in some way, shape or form, or preferred, contactless payment. I firmly believe there should be some sort of government legislation to kind of bring this under control, because it's only going to get worse with more and more players coming into the market. it's a bit of a ball ache carrying all these around. They're carried in my car, and then you have to work out which one you want, which one the charger is, whether it's an app or whether it's an RFID card. Sometimes they don't work, so it can be a bit of a pain. So if you're a new EV owner, just bear that in mind. Don't let it scare you off. And what I would suggest is that if you're going to use public charging locally, like I do, I would suggest you go and find what those particular public chargers are, whether it's Polar, Instavolt, whatever they may be, and then work out what you're going to use the majority of. When it comes to longer distances or planning your journeys, then look at those on Chargemap and PlugShare and work out the plan of route where you're going to go, or potentially ones that you're going to go, and see if you can either keep the same card in some cases, or you may have to get another app or an RFID card. It's always best to be pre-planned before you actually get there, otherwise you have to rely on there being an internet connection and things like that if you need to set it up on your phone and things. So just bear that in mind if you're a new EV owner. Existing EV owners, you obviously feel my pain around this. I use nothing but public charging, so this is probably a little bit more painful than most. If you've got home charging, then it's less of an issue, I would imagine. But anyway, that was just my thoughts around RFID cards and the sheer amount of apps and things that we have to use at the moment. It will get better, I think, be legislated at some point. I just wish they'd do it a lot sooner, or at least almost insist that there's at least an option of contactless payment. Anyway, it'd be good to know what your thoughts are. Please leave your comments below. If you did like this video, please like, share and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you very much. See you soon.